What's up, my people? Welcome back to the Vibe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you can. I appreciate all the support. So today we gonna cover the Young Dolph trial. They got Govan Hernandez standing trial for allegedly placing the hit on Young Dolph. They say that him and Big Juke put the play together. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. This is co-defendants of the shooters supposed to be on the stand, and we're gonna get into it.
My name is Manny Aurora. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here representing Mr. Hernandez Govan, along with our former IT specialist, Robert Wilson, who's also a lawyer, Haley Halty-Wenger, who's sitting in the white suit, and then also Beth Noble, who's in the black suit, as far as that goes. Last week, I talked to you guys a lot about first impressions, and the reason I mentioned that is sometimes the first impression can be wrong. I listened to a very beautiful, eloquent speech from the prosecutor in this case, and it sounds really, really good. But that's the false first impression, because you promised that as a peer of Mr. Govan, you would listen to everything. So let me share to you the rest of the story. This entire case is going to come down to the guy with the machine gun that shot off Adolph Thornton. The whole case is going to come down to him, and then possibly his girlfriend backing up his story. Remember, Cornelius Smith has made at least 5 different statements to law enforcement over the course of a year where everything changes. He's then met with the prosecution at least 5 or 6 times to go over his testimony prior to testifying here today. So you should ask yourself the question when the judge instructed you, does somebody have a reason to lie? Do they have an interest in the outcome? You are caught red-handed on video, and you're about to see it in a second, taking an AK-47 and lighting it up in a cookie store in broad daylight. He's facing a mandatory life sentence, as I'm going to question him about. And I ask each and every one of you, what would you do if you were facing a mandatory life sentence to get out of it?
The video right there, because I want to talk about how they can put witnesses on the stand that's facing trouble themselves, and all of a sudden they credible, but when they sentencing you a criminal. So why can they believe the testimony of somebody else who facing a life sentence? They'll do anything to get out of jail. They'll say anything the prosecutor want them to say, but people get convicted anyway. I just wanted to touch on that, but we're going to get back into it.
Why would you need to make so many different statements if you were telling the truth? Because remember, the truth is the truth. You don't need to practice it. You don't need to remember it. It's the truth. So let's see who the government has gotten in bed with to try to prove their case against Hernandez Govan. Robert?
This the actual shooting right here.
So the man you have to believe is the man who's capable of, in broad daylight, carrying an AK-47, going into a store full of people, and just, without hesitation, opening fire. And he's the one that's going to tell you that Mr. Govan did this, this, and this. Nothing that he says can be validated. The other thing the government's going to try to talk to you about is cell phone tower records. The expert that the government may call, or if they don't call him, I'll call him, will tell you tower records are inherently unreliable because it's not like on TV. There's a reason why all the engineers from the cell phone providers, T-Mobile, AT&T specifically, write in their letters, they will not testify in court because of unreliability. The other thing you have to know, and Robert put up the slide, within a 10 square mile area of where all this happened, there are 553 T-Mobile towers. 553 just from T-Mobile. And it's hard to see this because there's so many. There will be more AT&T towers. There will be this, essentially over 1,000 towers out there. And what the expert will tell you is this isn't an exact science. Just because your phone pings on a certain tower doesn't mean you were there. See, towers get filled up, and you may have to transfer to the next tower near. All these people live within a couple of mile radius, so of course it's going to hit all these towers. But there is 553 just from T-Mobile within that area where all this happened. They talk to you about conspiracy and how Govan picked these two individuals. The state chooses to cherry pick a little bit here and a little bit there from each of the statements. But let me play a 5-second clip about how all this supposedly happened. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying Govan is involved in one way, shape, or form. But if you want to believe Cornelius Smith, the AK-47 shooter, and God knows how many other shootings he's done, then he'll talk about it. I want you to listen to this.
It was one day me and Angela was out riding, and I wanted some X pills, so I went to Quit House to get the X pills from him, and Juke was over there. And when I walked in, there was one Quick told Juke, this little seat right here, and mine, Juke was like, he don't know. First he said, take all the phones outside, you know. He ain't say my phone, he was saying quit phone. I passed my phone to make it feel comfortable. So, took the phone outside and Juke was like, he don't know how the head get him, and he got us. And I can't recall like exactly when it was, but that's what he said.
All right. So the state just told you to your face that Mr. Govan picked out two desperate people. Cornelius Smith, if you are to believe him, says in his statement, I just happened to be going by Quet's house, Govan's house, to buy some ecstasy pills with my girlfriend. Juke happened to be there. He doesn't say Quet said a word. Juke says there's a hate on everybody, and I got you, and Juke says, take the phones outside while I talk to you. Assuming you believe any of that's true. And the reason I ask you if you think any of that's true is the police never went to question Juke, aka Anthony Mims, or Yogati, or any of the people with CMG. Never once even tried to do an interview. So this is as plain as day. Juke said do it. Quet didn't say anything. Quet lives in the poorest part of Memphis in Orange Mound, sells a few ecstasy pills to make a living, and hustles with some sports gambling. He's a nobody, and that's why I asked you about the peers. He's a throwaway that they can blame. Why did they not talk to Juke or anybody else with CMG?
Okay, so there you have it. That's the lawyer for Govan. I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on it. So, Big Juke is Young Gotti brother. That's Yo Gotti is the rapper. He the CEO of CMG. He might be finding himself in some trouble because they keep bringing his name up in court. So you know how they like to go after the rappers. But they basically saying his Yo Gotti brother got Govan to pay two people to put the hit out on Dawn. And the dude that supposed to be testifying, he's basically saying that Big Juke told them to take the phones out the house, as you hear what the lawyer said. So this is like, I think day 2 or 3 of the trial. I'm gonna keep y'all posted on this, but it ain't looking good. When they get a motherfucker to get on the stand and testify against you, you know the jury gonna go with them because they gonna feel like you in the African American, you selling drugs. So if you ain't get caught for the drugs, you should get caught for something. And they gonna try to find them guilty. I hope they don't, but at the end of the day, rest in peace, dawg. I hope God he don't get himself in no trouble. You know, I'm just reporting the news, man. It's allegedly. I don't know none of these people. But with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I'll be back with you with another video. And I appreciate all the support for everybody.
I'm talking filthy rich. I'm talking house by the lake. I'm talking meals in the bank. I'm trying to do what they can't, so I expect them to hate. The streets need a nigga. How long you expect them to wait? Niggas won't beef. Somebody get a mistake, but ain't no mistake when your perception